Welcome to Bookwaves Audio. Today we are going to explore one of the most important journeys you will ever take. A journey that begins and ends with yourself. Many people spend their entire lives searching for love, approval and acceptance from others, hoping someone else will fill the emptiness inside. But the truth is, the most essential relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. If you are listening to this audiobook, you are already taking a step in the right direction. You are choosing to explore self-love, self-acceptance, and the power of valuing your own worth. This is not about arrogance, selfishness, or ignoring others. It is about understanding your heart, healing your soul, and learning to treat yourself with the care and respect you deserve. By the end of this audiobook, you will begin to see yourself different. You will start to understand that your thoughts, feelings, and dreams matter. You will learn how to let go of self-criticism and embrace the person you are. You will discover ways to nurture yourself, protect your energy, and finally feel the profound sense of peace that comes from loving yourself. Before we begin, take a moment to sit comfortably. Close your eyes if you wish, and take a deep breath. Let your mind settle. Let your body relax, and allow yourself to be fully present in this moment. This is your time, your journey, your discovery. And if you want more peaceful and inspiring journeys like this one, make sure to subscribe to Bookwaves Audio. Stay with us until the end, because each chapter is designed to gently guide you deeper into self-love and understanding. Now let us begin. Chapter 1. The Forgotten Relationship. Most of us grow up learning to love others, to care for our friends and family, to seek approval from teachers and peers, and to try to fit in with the world around us. We are taught that relationships with others are important, that love is something to give and receive from people outside ourselves. And while all of that is true, somewhere along the way, we forget the most crucial relationship of all, the one that exists entirely within us, the relationship with ourselves. Think for a moment about your own life. How often have you paused to truly ask yourself how you are feeling? How often have you stopped seeking validation from others, and instead looked inward to see if you were treating yourself with kindness and respect? For most people, the answer is rarely. We are conditioned to focus outward, to give to others, and to ignore the quiet voice inside that whispers our needs and desires. This chapter is about noticing that voice, about realizing that it is never too late to begin listening to yourself. Loving yourself is not about pretending to be perfect or ignoring your flaws. It is about accepting the reality of who you are and deciding that you are worth attention, care, and respect. Many people fear self-love because they think it is selfish. They worry that if they focus on themselves, they will neglect others or become arrogant. But the truth is that when you cultivate a healthy relationship with yourself, you are better equipped to love others fully. Self-love is the foundation that allows you to give without losing yourself. It is the soil from which compassion, patience, and joy naturally grow. Start by observing your daily thoughts. Notice the way you speak to yourself silently. Do you offer encouragement, or do you silently criticize? Do you give yourself credit for your effort, or do you focus only on your mistakes? This awareness is the first step in reclaiming your relationship with yourself. Awareness alone does not change you, but it lights the path toward change. Next, consider the moments when you feel most drained or unhappy. Often, these moments reveal where you have neglected yourself. Perhaps you have overextended your energy to meet others' expectations, neglected your own needs, or ignored your feelings. These moments are not punishments. They are signals, gentle nudges from your inner self, guiding you to pay attention. It is natural to struggle at first. Self-love does not come instantly. Many people carry deep-seated beliefs that they are unworthy or undeserving. These beliefs may have been formed in childhood or reinforced over the years through comparisons and criticism. Accepting that these beliefs exist is not a defeat. It is a beginning. To love yourself, you must first understand the thoughts and patterns that have kept you from it. One practical way to start is to create small daily rituals of care. This could be as simple as spending 5 minutes in silence each morning, noticing your breath, and saying internally that you are worthy of love. Or it could be taking time to write down one thing you appreciate about yourself each day. These moments may seem small, but they are powerful. They are the foundation of a lifelong practice of self-respect. Another crucial part of this journey is forgiveness. Often, we hold ourselves to impossible standards, carrying guilt for mistakes or regret for opportunities missed. Learning to forgive yourself is an essential step toward loving yourself. Forgiveness does not mean ignoring mistakes. It means understanding that imperfection is human and allowing yourself to move forward with compassion rather than judgment. As you progress in this journey, you may notice resistance. Thoughts may arise telling you that you are not worthy, that others' opinions are more important, or that self-love is selfish. These thoughts are normal. They are echoes of the old patterns you have carried. Acknowledge them without judgment, and gently redirect your focus to the nurturing voice within. The journey of self-love is not linear. Some days will feel effortless, and others may feel like a struggle. Patience is essential. Just as you would nurture a young plant, your relationship with yourself requires care, consistency, and attention. Celebrate small victories. Notice when you respond to yourself with kindness instead of criticism. Over time, these small moments accumulate, creating profound change. Begin today by making a simple promise to yourself. I will notice my thoughts. I will speak kindly to myself. I will honor my needs and feelings. I will practice patience and forgiveness. This promise is the seed. With it, you begin to rebuild the most important relationship you will ever have, the relationship with yourself. Be valuable. Take a deep breath now. Feel the weight of your body, the rhythm of your heart, and the quiet strength that exists within you. This strength is your guide. It has always been there, patiently waiting for your attention. As you continue to listen, allow yourself to connect with it, to honor it, and to let it grow. The journey has begun. You are taking the first steps toward a life where you are your own source of love and support. You are learning to treat yourself with the care and respect you deserve, and in doing so you are preparing to experience a profound transformation that will ripple through every aspect of your life. Chapter 2. The Mirror Moment. Looking at yourself honestly can be one of the most challenging experiences in life. Most people avoid it because they fear judgment, criticism, or disappointment. The mirror is not the enemy. It is a tool, a reflection, not only of your appearance, but also of your inner world. Facing yourself with courage and kindness is the first step toward true self-acceptance and self-love. When you stand in front of the mirror, notice what you see first. Perhaps you notice imperfections, features you wish were different, or areas of your body you have long criticized. Maybe your mind immediately starts comparing you to others, or remembering past moments of insecurity. These thoughts are natural, but they are not the truth of who you are. They are a filter created by society, past experiences, and self-doubt. Observing yourself without judgment is essential. Accept yourself as you are, without forcing positivity or ignoring reality. Start with small steps. Spend a few minutes each day, standing before the mirror. Look into your eyes and notice your expressions, notice your posture, and the way your body moves. Observe the emotions that arise. Do you feel discomfort, shame, pride, or curiosity? Awareness is the first step toward change. It shows you where self-love has been absent and opens the door for growth. Awareness alone is transformative because it brings the unconscious into consciousness. As you continue this practice, you may notice a pattern. Your mind often focuses on what is wrong, what could be better, or what you wish you could change. This is normal. Instead of judging yourself for thinking this way, gently redirect your attention to your strengths and unique qualities. Every line, every mark, every detail of your reflection tells a story of your life. Every expression is evidence of your experiences and lessons learned. Begin to appreciate your reflection for the life it represents. Mirror work can include affirmations and gentle encouragement. You can say silently, "I am enough. I deserve love. I am growing and learning." At first these words may feel strange or forced, but repetition creates familiarity and belief. Speaking these words aloud connects mind, voice, and heart. Over time, affirmations replace self-criticism with gentleness, creating an internal environment that nurtures growth. It is important to understand that self-acceptance is not static. Your reflection changes with time, mood, and life circumstance. Learning to love yourself means loving the evolving person you are, not clinging to a fixed image or comparing yourself to an ideal standard. Your value is inherent, independent of external approval or achievement. Many people confuse self-love with vanity. Vanity seeks attention, approval, or admiration from others. Self-love is quiet, internal, and nurturing. Mirror work teaches the difference. It focuses on honoring yourself, recognizing your value, and creating a sense of inner peace, rather than seeking external validation. At times, looking in the mirror may bring discomfort, sadness, or even tears. Notice how you speak to yourself throughout the day. Are your thoughts encouraging or critical? Do you honor your feelings or dismiss them? Are you noticing and celebrating your accomplishments, however small? Reflection is not only visual, it is emotional and behavioral. The mirror is a starting point, but awareness can extend into every part of your life. You can also engage in guided exercises to strengthen self-love through mirror work. Start with writing. Stand before the mirror and write down 3 things you genuinely like about yourself. Focus on qualities, strengths, or moments when you acted with courage or kindness. Then write down 3 areas you wish to improve. Approach these areas with curiosity and compassion rather than harsh judgment. This creates balance between acceptance and growth. Another exercise is visualization. Look into your eyes and imagine a younger version of yourself. See that child looking at you with hope, fear, or confusion. Offer reassurance, silently. Tell that child they are loved, valued, and safe. This inner dialogue fosters connection with your past self and begins healing emotional wounds. It is also helpful to create daily rituals of self-respect. You might spend 5 minutes each morning observing yourself in the mirror and practicing affirmations. You might adjust your posture to stand tall, breathe deeply, and acknowledge your presence in the world. You might smile at yourself and acknowledge the effort it takes to live with courage and perseverance. These small actions accumulate into powerful habits that reinforce self-love over time. During this journey, you may encounter resistance. Thoughts may arise, saying that self-love is selfish, or that others' opinions are more important. These thoughts are echoes of old beliefs and conditioning. Your relationship with yourself requires consistent attention, care, and patience. Celebrate small victories, such as noticing a kind thought about yourself or responding with gentleness instead of criticism. These moments build momentum and confidence in your ability to nurture yourself. Physical connection is another element of mirror work. Notice your body fully. Place your hands on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. Feel the strength and resilience in your muscles, the support your body provides, the life it carries. Appreciate your body for its abilities rather than criticize it for what you wish it could be. Gratitude for your physical self reinforces the emotional and mental aspects of self-love. Forgiveness is essential in this chapter. Many people carry guilt or shame from past actions, failures, or perceived inadequacies. Stand in front of the mirror and acknowledge these experiences. Allow yourself to release judgment and offer forgiveness to yourself. Forgiveness is not excusing mistakes. It is freeing yourself from the weight of self-blame and opening space for growth and compassion. As you continue practicing, your internal dialogue will gradually shift. Harsh, critical thoughts will be replaced with kinder, more balanced observations. You will notice pride in your efforts, gratitude for your resilience, and calmness in your presence. These subtle changes accumulate, creating a lasting transformation in the way you see and treat yourself. The mirror moment is also a reminder that self-love is ongoing. Each day is an opportunity to practice awareness, kindness, and acceptance. Each reflection is a chance to reaffirm your value and your commitment to yourself. No matter how challenging it may feel at first, persistence is key. As you close this chapter, take a deep breath. Stand once more before the mirror. Observe your reflection fully. Acknowledge the journey you are on, the courage it takes to face yourself, and the love you are learning to give yourself. Feel the strength, peace, and possibility within you. The mirror is no longer just a reflection of the outside. It is a reflection of your inner growth, your courage, and your commitment to yourself. This chapter marks a pivotal step in your journey towards self-love. By learning to face yourself honestly and with compassion, you create a foundation for deeper emotional healing. You learn that your worth is inherent, that your presence matters, and that the journey of loving yourself more than anyone else is real, possible, and transformative. Take one more moment to breathe deeply, relax, and honor yourself. The mirror moment is complete for now, but your practice continues. Each time you return to this exercise, you deepen your self-awareness, strengthen your self-compassion, and nurture the most important relationship you will ever have. Chapter 3. The voices in your head. Every person has an inner voice. It is constantly speaking, sometimes quietly, sometimes loudly, guiding decisions, shaping perceptions, and coloring experiences. For many people, this voice is harsh, critical, and unforgiving. It points out mistakes, highlights flaws, and reminds you of every past failure. These voices are not enemies, yet they can feel impossible to escape. Understanding these inner voices is a crucial step in learning to love yourself more than anyone else. The first step is awareness. Begin to notice when your mind is talking. What are the words it uses? Are they encouraging or judgmental? Are they guiding you forward or holding you back? Awareness is not about changing the thoughts immediately. It is about noticing them, understanding their patterns, and recognizing how often they repeat. Negative self-talk often originates from old experiences, childhood memories, comparisons with others, or critical voices from teachers, parents, or peers can embed lasting beliefs. You may have been told you are not good enough, that your efforts are insufficient, or that your feelings are unimportant. Over time, these messages became part of your inner dialogue. Awareness allows you to identify which voices belong to your authentic self and which are echoes of the past. Next, understand the impact of these voices. Every time you hear a critical thought and accept it as truth, it shapes your emotions, behaviors, and self-image. Over time, repeated criticism can lead to anxiety, low self-esteem, and fear of failure. On the other hand, nurturing and compassionate inner dialogue can cultivate confidence, resilience, and motivation. Recognizing the influence of your inner voice is essential because it shows the power you have to change your relationship with yourself. One practical exercise is to separate yourself from the voice. Imagine standing next to a person who is speaking harshly to you. Listen to their words without reacting emotionally. Notice the content and tone without letting it define you. This helps create distance between your authentic self and the critical voice. You are not the voice, you are the observer. Observing without judgment allows you to choose whether to listen, challenge, or replace the thought. Another technique is to rewrite the message. When you notice a negative thought, pause and consciously reframe it. For example, If the voice says you are not capable, replace it with a thought acknowledging effort, potential, or growth. This does not mean ignoring reality or forcing positivity. It means responding with balance, compassion, and truth. Repetition strengthens new pathways in your mind, gradually shifting the dominant narrative from criticism to encouragement. Journaling is also an effective way to work with your inner voice. Write down the thoughts that arise during the day. Note which ones are harsh or critical, and which ones are neutral or positive. Then reflect on the origins of these thoughts. Are they truly yours, or are they inherited beliefs? Finally, write a compassionate response. Treat yourself as you would treat a friend. This process builds awareness, understanding, and self-kindness over time. Visualization can deepen this practice. Imagine the critical voice as a figure standing before you. Observe its posture, tone, and presence. Acknowledge its existence without fear or resistance. Then imagine speaking gently to it, guiding it to speak with care and support. Over time, visualization helps integrate compassionate communication into your inner world. It is important to remember that these voices are not erased overnight. Your mind has carried them for years, sometimes decades. Change takes time, patience, and persistence. Some days will feel effortless, and others will feel like a struggle. This is normal. Each step, however small, is progress. Celebrate the moments when you notice your voice, challenge it, and respond with compassion. Each act reinforces your capacity for self-love. Listening to the positive voice is equally important. Often, we focus so much on criticism that we overlook the moments when our mind supports us. These moments are subtle. Perhaps it reminds you of your strengths, celebrates your accomplishments, or gently encourages you to keep going. Take note of these positive messages, amplify them, repeat them, and integrate them into your daily awareness. Daily rituals can help maintain a balanced inner dialogue. Start the day with a few minutes of reflection. Ask your mind what it is saying and respond with care. Practice short affirmations, mindful breathing, and visualization exercises to reinforce supportive patterns. In the evening, review your thoughts from the day and note how you responded. Each reflection strengthens the connection between awareness, choice, and action. It is also helpful to understand triggers for negative voices. Certain situations, people, or environments can intensify criticism. Awareness of triggers allows you to anticipate challenges and respond consciously rather than reactively. You can prepare your mind with grounding techniques, mindful breathing, or internal reminders of self-worth. By recognizing triggers, you gain power over your emotional landscape instead of being swept away by old patterns. Over time, this practice reduces the power of critical voices and increases your capacity for self-compassion. Another powerful approach is to cultivate gratitude for your inner voice. Even the critical thoughts have served a purpose. They often arose from a desire to protect you or push you to improve. Acknowledging this allows you to transform the voice from a source of fear into a guide for growth. Gratitude shifts the emotional tone of the mind, making it easier to embrace change and nurture self-love. Engaging with your inner voice also involves forgiving yourself. Many negative thoughts are connected to past mistakes, regrets, or feelings of inadequacy. Stand in front of yourself and mentally release these judgments. Accept that imperfection is part of being human. Forgiveness does not mean ignoring lessons. It means freeing yourself from the burden of guilt and creating space for love, acceptance, and growth. It is essential to practice patience. Transforming your inner dialogue is a long-term process. Daily awareness, conscious responses, journaling, visualization, and affirmations create incremental change. Over time, the supportive voice strengthens, becomes more natural, and begins to dominate the mind. Your inner world gradually becomes a source of encouragement, strength, and confidence, rather than fear and self-doubt. Notice how your inner voice affects your behavior. Do you avoid challenges, withdraw from opportunities, or silence your true desires? Often, the critical voice directly influences these patterns. By observing, challenging, and responding with compassion, you reclaim your freedom. You regain the ability to act from a place of choice rather than fear. As you progress, you may also notice that your inner voice becomes a teacher. It reveals hidden beliefs, unresolved emotions, and areas that require care. By the end of this chapter, you begin to understand that your inner voice is not fixed. It is shaped by attention, awareness, and intention. You have the power to cultivate a supportive, nurturing dialogue that uplifts, motivates, and guides you. The voices in your head are not your enemy. They are an opportunity to connect, heal, and grow. Take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and reflect on your inner voice. Notice the patterns, the criticisms, the subtle encouragements, and the areas needing care. Acknowledge them all with compassion. Commit to responding consciously, gently, and lovingly. Each day, each moment, is an opportunity to transform your inner world into a source of strength, wisdom, and unconditional love. The voices in your head are always present. You cannot silence them completely, nor should you try to. The goal is mastery, not suppression. Mastery means awareness, understanding, and compassionate guidance. Mastery means choosing love over judgment and nurturing over criticism. Mastery is learning to love yourself more than anyone else, starting with the words you speak silently to yourself every day. Chapter 4. You are not your past. Your past shapes you, but it does not define you. Many people carry their history like a heavy backpack filled with mistakes, regrets, and pain. Every decision you have made, every mistake you have lived through, every moment of fear or failure can seem like a permanent mark on your identity. Yet the truth is that your past exists to teach you, to guide you, and to help you grow. It is not a chain binding you to your previous self. It is a foundation for transformation. The first step in releasing your past is acknowledgement. Recognize the experiences that have shaped you without judgment or self-blame. Accept that you made the best choices you could with the knowledge, skills, and resources you had at the time. Understanding this allows you to approach your history with compassion rather than resentment. Many people confuse self-love with forgetting their past. Forgiving yourself does not erase what happened. It means allowing yourself to move forward without carrying guilt or shame. Your mistakes are part of your story, but they are not the entirety of who you are. Each experience offers lessons, insights, and opportunities for growth. Observing your past objectively helps you identify patterns, recognize triggers, and make conscious choices for the future. Reflect on moments of regret. Ask yourself what you learned from each situation. How did it shape your character? What skills or strengths emerged as a result? Instead of dwelling on failure, see your past as a teacher. Every hardship, setback, or disappointment carries a hidden message about resilience, patience, and self-awareness. One exercise to separate yourself from your past is visualization. Close your eyes and imagine a younger version of yourself standing before you. Look into their eyes and acknowledge the struggles they endured. Offer them understanding, compassion, and reassurance. Tell them that they are not defined by mistakes or failures. Embrace the child within you who was learning, growing, and doing their best. This visualization fosters self-forgiveness and emotional healing. It is natural to feel fear when confronting past experiences. Memories may bring discomfort, anger, or sadness. Allow yourself to feel these emotions fully. Avoid suppressing or judging them. Emotional release is necessary for healing. Tears, sighs, or even quiet reflection are valid and powerful ways to process what you have experienced. Your emotions are not weaknesses. They are indicators of your humanity and your capacity to care deeply. Journaling can help externalize and process your past. Write down specific events, that still affect you emotionally. Describe your feelings and thoughts about each event. Then, write a compassionate response. Explain to yourself why these events do not determine your worth, intelligence, or ability to love. This practice creates distance between your identity and your history, allowing you to reclaim power over your life. Another critical aspect of overcoming your past is challenging limiting beliefs. Often, the experiences we have gone through lead to negative self-perceptions. You might tell yourself you are unworthy, incapable, or destined to fail because of what happened before. These beliefs are false. They are interpretations of experiences, not absolute truths. Consciously replace limiting beliefs with empowering alternatives that reflect your growth and potential. Forgiveness is central to this chapter. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you made, the choices that led to pain, and the moments when fear or doubt held you back. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful actions or ignoring consequences. It means releasing yourself from the weight of regret and reclaiming your ability to act freely in the present. The act of forgiving allows you to step into a future unburdened by the past. It is also important to forgive others who may have contributed to your pain. Holding on to resentment and anger toward others keeps you tied to history. It reinforces the narrative that you are defined by what happened to you rather than what you choose to become. Forgiveness of others is a gift to yourself. It frees emotional energy, creates inner peace, and strengthens your ability to love yourself and others authentically. Practical exercises help solidify this work. Create a timeline of your life, noting significant events and emotional experiences. For each event, write a reflection about what you learned, how you grew, and the strengths you discovered. This exercise helps transform perception from victimhood to empowerment. You begin to see yourself as an active participant in your life story, rather than a passive sufferer of circumstances. Mindfulness can also support this process. Pay attention to thoughts and feelings that arise related to the past. Notice them without judgment and gently redirect your attention to the present moment. Mindful awareness diminishes the power of past experiences over your current emotional state. It reminds you that now, in this moment, you are free to choose, act, and feel without being controlled by history. Another technique is to create affirmations, specifically targeting your relationship with your past. Statements such as, "I am not my mistakes," "I have grown from my experiences," and "I release the weight of what no longer serves me," reinforce a mindset of self-empowerment. Repeat these affirmations daily to integrate them into your conscious and subconscious awareness. Physical practices can also aid emotional release. Movement, stretching, or gentle exercise can help release tension stored in the body due to unresolved past experiences. Deep breathing, yoga, or mindful walks connect the mind and body, allowing emotional processing to occur more fully. The body often remembers what the mind tries to forget, and movement is a way to honor and release these stored experiences. As you continue to work with your past, notice patterns that repeatedly emerge. Certain thoughts, fears, or behaviors may trace back to specific events. Recognizing these patterns allows you to interrupt automatic reactions, consciously choose healthier responses, and gradually transform long-standing habits. Transformation is not instant, but consistent practice produces measurable change over time. Community and support can also enhance healing. Sharing your experiences with trusted friends, family, or mentors can provide validation, perspective, and emotional release. Sometimes the act of verbalizing your story, being heard without judgment, and receiving compassion is as powerful as any internal exercise. Connecting with others reminds you that you are not alone, and that your past does not define your future. Gratitude is another powerful tool. Reflect on the lessons, growth, and resilience your past has provided. Even the painful experiences contributed to your strength, wisdom, and capacity to love. By the end of this chapter, you will begin to feel lighter. The heavy backpack of mistakes, regrets, and guilt gradually becomes manageable. You will notice space for self-compassion, self-respect, and self-love. You will begin to recognize that your worth is not tied to what has happened before. You are not your past. You are a living, evolving human being capable of transformation, growth, and profound self-love. Take a moment to reflect. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and envision the person you were years ago. Imagine extending your hand to them, offering reassurance, acceptance, and compassion. Feel the weight of guilt and shame lifting as you embrace both your past and your present self. Recognize that the future is yours to shape. You have the power to create a life of love, freedom, and fulfillment independent of previous experiences. This chapter emphasizes that transformation begins with perspective. By acknowledging the past, understanding its lessons, forgiving yourself and others, and taking conscious action, you reclaim authority over your life. You are no longer bound by previous mistakes or circumstances. You are free to act, grow, and love in the present moment. The practice continues each day. Observe your thoughts, challenge limiting beliefs, process emotions, and integrate the lessons of your past. Over time, you will find that the past no longer has the power to control your life. Instead, it becomes a source of strength, insight, and resilience that supports your journey toward loving yourself more than anyone else. By accepting that you are not your past, you reclaim your power, your peace, and your ability to live fully in the present. Each step you take, each conscious choice, and each act of self-compassion reinforces your commitment to yourself and your growth. You are not your past. You are a continuously evolving human being capable of profound self-love, wisdom, and transformation. Chapter 5. Reclaiming your worth. Many people go through life carrying a sense of unworthiness. It can begin in childhood, grow through experiences of criticism, rejection, or comparison, and linger silently into adulthood. Feeling unworthy does not mean it is true. Worth is not something that needs to be earned. It is inherent, unchanging, and intrinsic to your existence. Reclaiming your worth is about reconnecting with this truth and removing the layers of doubt, fear, and false beliefs that cover it. The first step in reclaiming your worth is awareness. Begin to notice moments when you feel inadequate or undeserving. Observe your thoughts carefully. Are they rooted in reality, or shaped by past experiences and other people's expectations? Awareness allows you to distinguish between your authentic self and the internalized voices that have diminished your confidence over time. Many people confuse self-worth with external validation. Achievements, compliments, or approval can feel like proof of value, but these are temporary and fragile measures. True worth exists independently of external circumstances. It is not something you have to prove or earn. The process of reclaiming your worth is about reconnecting with your inherent value and allowing yourself to feel it deeply. One practical exercise is to list your strengths and qualities. Include both tangible achievements and personal traits such as patience, courage, creativity, empathy, and resilience. Review this list daily, adding new observations whenever you notice something valuable about yourself. This practice reinforces awareness of your worth and begins to replace habitual self-criticism with acknowledgement and appreciation. Another exercise involves reflecting on your boundaries. Feeling worthy often depends on how well you protect your emotional and physical space. Identify areas where your boundaries have been compromised or ignored. Consider ways to reinforce them. Saying no to things that drain your energy or expressing your needs clearly to others is not selfish. It is a necessary act of self-respect that strengthens your sense of worth. It is essential to recognize the influence of comparison. Many people measure their worth against others, focusing on achievements, appearance, or status. Comparison can erode confidence and foster feelings of inadequacy. Instead, focus inward. Evaluate your growth relative to your own journey, not anyone else's. Celebrate progress, however small, and honor the unique path you are on. Forgiveness plays a vital role in reclaiming worth. Forgive yourself for past mistakes, missed opportunities, or moments of weakness. These experiences do not reduce your inherent value. Forgiveness releases the burden of guilt and allows you to embrace yourself fully. It also frees emotional energy to focus on growth, joy, and self-love. Visualization can strengthen this practice. Close your eyes and imagine a version of yourself that fully recognizes and accepts your worth. Picture this self standing confidently, radiating calm, strength, and self-respect. Observe how this version thinks, speaks, and acts. Engage with this vision regularly. Over time, it becomes integrated into your awareness, shaping your behavior and mindset. Daily affirmations are also effective. Phrases like, "I am valuable," "I am deserving of love," "I matter," and "my worth is inherent" help rewire your mind to recognize and embrace your value. Repeat them aloud or silently each morning and evening. Consistency over time strengthens the internal sense of worth, making it a natural foundation for self-love and confidence. It is common to encounter resistance during this process. Negative self-beliefs can feel ingrained and persistent. When these arise, acknowledge them without judgment. Recognize that these thoughts are old patterns, not truths. Consciously choose to redirect your focus toward nurturing, supportive, and empowering perspectives. Each act of conscious choice reinforces your ability to reclaim your worth. Engaging in reflective journaling enhances this practice. Write about moments when you felt undervalued or unworthy. Examine the circumstances and identify the underlying causes. Then, rewrite the narrative from a place of empowerment. Acknowledge your inherent worth in every situation, even when others fail to recognize it. This strengthens the habit of internal validation rather than dependence on external approval. Reclaiming worth also involves celebrating small victories. Every step towards self-acceptance, assertiveness, or emotional healing is significant. Notice these moments. Express gratitude to yourself, and allow the sense of achievement to reinforce your intrinsic value. Over time, these small moments accumulate, creating a profound shift in self-perception and confidence. Another practical approach is mindfulness. Observe thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without judgment. When feelings of inadequacy arise, pause, breathe, and reflect on their origin. Are they rooted in reality, or are they echoes of past criticism or societal expectations? Mindfulness cultivates clarity, helping you respond consciously instead of reacting automatically. Physical presence can also reinforce worth. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and move intentionally. Your posture, gestures, and energy communicate value to both yourself and others. Treat your body with respect through care, nourishment, and attention. Physical self-respect reinforces emotional and mental self-worth. It is important to recognize that reclaiming worth is not a linear process. Progress may feel slow at times, and setbacks are natural. Be patient with yourself. Each effort, each reflection, and each conscious act of self-love contributes to lasting transformation. Self-worth grows through consistent practice, self-compassion, and intentional awareness. Community support enhances this journey. Surround yourself with people who recognize, respect, and honor your value. Their presence reinforces your internal sense of worth. But remember that external validation is not the source. True worth emerges from within, cultivated through self-awareness, acceptance, and care. Gratitude is another powerful tool. Reflect on your strengths, accomplishments, and the ways you have overcome challenges. Acknowledging these aspects reminds you of your resilience and value. Gratitude shifts focus from perceived deficiencies to appreciation of what you already embody. Reclaiming your worth also involves letting go of toxic influences. Identify relationships, habits, or environments that diminish your self-esteem or foster feelings of inadequacy. Gradually remove or transform these influences. Surrounding yourself with supportive, nurturing, and encouraging energy creates space for self-love and personal growth. As you progress, notice how your interactions change. When you recognize your worth, you set healthier boundaries, speak more assertively, and engage with others from a place of confidence rather than fear or insecurity. Your energy shifts, attracting opportunities, experiences, and relationships aligned with your value. Finally, integrate these practices into daily life. Morning rituals of reflection, affirmation, and visualization, combined with mindfulness, journaling, physical presence, and gratitude, create a holistic approach to reclaiming worth. Consistency is the key. Over time, the internal sense of value strengthens and becomes a natural, unshakable foundation for self-love, confidence, and fulfillment. By the end of this chapter, you will feel a stronger connection to your inherent value. You will understand that worth is not earned through achievement, validation, or comparison. It is intrinsic, unchanging, and always present. You have the tools, practices, and awareness to reclaim this worth fully and allow it to guide your choices, relationships, and life experience. Take a moment to breathe deeply and feel your presence. Recognize the strength, courage, and inherent value you carry. Acknowledge that you are deserving of love, respect, and care, simply because you exist. Reclaiming your worth is not a one-time achievement. It is a lifelong practice, a conscious choice, and the foundation of a life where you love yourself more than anyone else. Each day offers opportunities to strengthen this practice. Observe your thoughts, respond with compassion, assert your boundaries, celebrate your growth, and cultivate awareness of your value. With patience, persistence, and intention, your worth becomes an undeniable, lived reality that transforms every aspect of your life. Chapter 6. Setting yourself free from approval. Many people live their lives seeking approval from others. From a young age, we are conditioned to value praise, recognition, and acceptance. Parents, teachers, peers, and society shape our behaviors, often teaching us that being liked or validated is essential for survival, happiness, or success. Over time, this need for approval can become deeply ingrained, influencing decisions, actions, and self-perception. Seeking approval is natural, but when it dominates your life, it diminishes your freedom, authenticity, and capacity for self-love. The first step in freeing yourself from approval is awareness. Begin to notice moments when your actions are driven by the desire for praise, rather than personal alignment or integrity. Ask yourself why you are doing certain things. Are they choices that reflect your true self, or are they motivated by the fear of rejection, judgment, or disapproval? Awareness is the key to breaking the cycle of dependence on external validation. It is important to understand that seeking approval often creates anxiety, self-doubt, and dissatisfaction. When your sense of worth is tied to others' opinions, it becomes unstable. Compliments provide temporary relief, but criticism, indifference, or differing perspectives can cause distress. This exercise builds awareness of patterns that undermine self-love and freedom. Next, focus on developing self-validation. Begin by recognizing your accomplishments, efforts, and intentions independently of external feedback. Celebrate progress, no matter how small. Acknowledge your courage in taking action, your thoughtfulness in making decisions, and your resilience in facing challenges. Internal validation creates stability and reinforces the truth that your value is inherent and does not need constant reinforcement from others. Boundary setting is crucial in this process. Often, the need for approval leads to overcommitment, people-pleasing, or ignoring personal needs. Identify areas where you have compromised yourself for others' approval. Practice saying no when necessary, expressing your needs clearly, and prioritizing your well-being. Every act of boundary setting strengthens self-respect and reduces dependence on external lift. Mindfulness enhances freedom from approval. Observe your thoughts, feelings, and impulses without judgment. Notice when fear of judgment or rejection influences decisions. Pause before reacting, and choose actions aligned with your authentic self. Mindful awareness helps you respond consciously rather than being controlled by habitual approval-seeking patterns. Visualization is a powerful tool for internalizing self-validation. Imagine yourself in a situation where others' opinions are irrelevant. Picture acting confidently, making choices that reflect your values, and feeling satisfied with your integrity. Experience the freedom, peace, and authenticity in this scenario. Practice this visualization regularly to reinforce internal validation and diminish reliance on external approval. It is also helpful to challenge limiting beliefs. Often, the need for approval is reinforced by thoughts such as, "I must be liked to succeed," "I cannot disappoint others," or "people will reject me if I am authentic." These beliefs are not absolute truths. Consciously examine them and replace them with empowering alternatives, such as "My worth is independent of others' opinions," "I can act authentically without fear," and "I am enough as I am." Repetition strengthens new neural pathways that support self-love and confidence. Engaging in reflective journaling deepens this practice. Write about situations where approval influenced your choices. Reflect on the emotional impact and note how alternative, authentic actions might have felt. Document lessons learned and insights gained. Journaling externalizes thought patterns, creating clarity and reinforcing intentional behavior change. Gratitude for yourself strengthens internal validation. Acknowledge your efforts, resilience, and personal growth. Focus on qualities that make you unique, the ways you contribute to the world, and the courage you display daily. Gratitude shifts attention from external validation to appreciation of your inherent value, reinforcing self-respect and freedom from approval seeking. It is important to understand that freeing yourself from approval is not about isolation or disregarding others. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect, empathy, and connection. The difference lies in acting from authenticity rather than fear of judgment. When your self-worth is internal, you can engage fully and genuinely with others without compromising integrity or happiness. Practice exposure to discomfort gradually. Begin by expressing opinions, making choices, or taking actions without seeking external validation. Notice the emotions that arise, such as fear, uncertainty, or excitement. Sit with these feelings, allowing them to exist without suppression. Over time, repeated exposure diminishes the power of fear, and authentic action becomes natural and empowering. Stand tall, maintain steady breathing, and project confidence. Nonverbal communication influences internal states as much as external perception. Acting with presence, calm, and authenticity signals self-respect and supports freedom from external validation. Community and mentorship can aid this process. Surround yourself with individuals who encourage authenticity, respect boundaries, and model internal validation. Observe their behavior, learn from their practices, and integrate supportive habits into your life. Positive social environments reinforce internal validation without creating dependency. Daily rituals help consolidate freedom from approval. Start the day with reflection, affirmations, or visualization focused on acting authentically. End the day with journaling or gratitude practices, reviewing moments when you chose internal validation over external approval. Over time, these routines strengthen conscious self-guidance and diminish the influence of external validation. It is natural to encounter setbacks. Old patterns of seeking approval may resurface in stress, uncertainty, or social pressure. When this occurs, observe without judgment, reflect on the triggers, and consciously choose authentic action. Persistence builds resilience, strengthens self-trust, and solidifies freedom from approval-seeking. Another effective strategy is to track progress. Note moments when you acted authentically without concern for judgment. Reflect on the positive impact on your confidence, relationships, and well-being. Celebrate each step, no matter how small. Tracking progress reinforces the belief that authenticity brings satisfaction, whereas approval-seeking is fleeting and unreliable. Engaging in self-compassion strengthens this practice. Be gentle with yourself during setbacks or failures. Recognize that dependency on approval is a learned behavior, not a flaw. Treat yourself with kindness, patience, and understanding as you gradually shift toward internal validation. Over time, freedom from approval transforms every aspect of life. Decisions become aligned with values. Actions reflect integrity, and relationships deepen through authenticity. Self-confidence grows, anxiety diminishes, and the sense of inherent worth becomes unshakable. Life becomes richer, freer, and more fulfilling, because it is guided by your true self, rather than external perceptions. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that freedom from approval is possible and empowering. You will recognize the distinction between internal and external validation, the importance of self-respect, and the practical steps necessary to cultivate independence from others' opinions. Your choices, actions, and presence become expressions of authenticity, courage, and love for yourself. Take a moment to reflect and breathe deeply. Notice moments in your life where you sought approval unnecessarily. Visualize choosing differently, acting from alignment with your values, and feeling satisfaction in your integrity. Acknowledge the freedom, power, and peace that emerge from living authentically. Each day offers opportunities to reinforce this practice, strengthening your internal sense of worth and your capacity to love yourself more than anyone else. This chapter emphasizes that liberation from approval is both a mindset and a practice. Awareness, reflection, journaling, visualization, affirmations, boundary setting, exposure, and community support collectively build resilience, confidence, and self-love. Over time, your inner voice becomes the guiding force, replacing fear of judgment with courage, authenticity, and unwavering self-worth. Chapter 7. Letting go of comparison. Comparison is one of the most common obstacles to self-love. From childhood, we are taught to measure ourselves against others. Who is smarter, faster, prettier, or more successful? Are these thoughts constructive or destructive? Do they inspire growth, or do they create anxiety and self-doubt? Awareness allows you to observe patterns without judgment, providing the opportunity to consciously choose a different perspective.
Understanding the origins of comparison is also crucial. Often, it comes from social conditioning, early experiences, or cultural pressures. You may have been praised for outperforming peers, or conversely criticized for falling short. Social media, peer groups, and societal expectations amplify this tendency, constantly showing curated images of success, beauty, and achievement. Recognizing the source helps you detach from automatic comparison and evaluate situations more objectively.
One practical exercise is to journal about comparison moments. Write down situations where you compared yourself to someone else, note your thoughts and feelings, and reflect on the impact on your mood and behavior. Then reframe the experience by identifying your unique strengths, achievements, and qualities. This practice shifts focus from scarcity and envy to gratitude and self-recognition. Another exercise is creating a personal value list. Identify the qualities, skills, and characteristics that define your worth independently of others. Include attributes such as kindness, resilience, creativity, intelligence, courage, or empathy. Refer to this list regularly, especially when the urge to compare arises. Focusing on your intrinsic value rather than external benchmarks reinforces self-confidence and authentic self-love. Visualization helps shift perspective. Imagine walking through a forest, observing countless trees of different shapes, sizes, and colors. Each tree is unique, thriving in its own way. Now see yourself as one of these trees, appreciating your individuality. The forest is not in competition, it simply exists, each tree fulfilling its purpose. This imagery cultivates appreciation for your uniqueness and reduces the impulse to compare. Comparison often stems from fear of inadequacy. You may worry that others' successes diminish your own, or that failing to match achievements will expose shortcomings. Address this fear by consciously separating your value from external measures. Remind yourself that your worth is inherent and not determined by relative success, appearance, or status. Mindfulness strengthens the ability to let go of comparison. Observe your thoughts without judgment. When a comparison arises, acknowledge it, note it, and redirect attention to your own path, efforts, and growth. Mindfulness diminishes the power of external influences over your emotions and restores focus on personal development and self-love. Affirmations are also effective. Phrases like "I am enough as I am," "My journey is unique," and "I honor my growth" reinforce self-acceptance and reduce comparison. Repeat these affirmations daily, especially in moments of insecurity or envy. Over time, they reshape internal dialogue and strengthen resilience against habitual comparison. Gratitude shifts focus from what is lacking to what is present. Instead of measuring yourself against someone else, reflect on your accomplishments, experiences, and qualities. Regularly acknowledging your gifts cultivates contentment and reinforces the understanding that your path is valuable in its own right. It is important to recognize that comparison is often fueled by social media. Carefully evaluate your engagement with platforms that trigger envy or inadequacy. Consider limiting exposure or curating content that inspires rather than undermines self-love. Protecting your mental space supports emotional well-being and strengthens focus on your journey rather than others' curated realities. Forgiveness is another component. Forgive yourself for past moments when comparison dictated choices or caused distress. This fosters healthy relationships, reduces envy, and strengthens the understanding that others' successes do not threaten your worth. Generosity of spirit enhances self-love and emotional resilience. Daily reflection reinforces progress. At the end of each day, review moments when you compared yourself and note how you responded. Celebrate instances where you chose self-recognition, gratitude, or mindful awareness instead. Reflect on lessons learned and strategies to apply in future situations. Consistency strengthens new patterns of thought and behavior. Physical practices can support emotional release related to movement, stretching, or mindful exercise helps release tension stored in the body from envy, stress, or self-doubt. Connect with your body fully, appreciating its strengths and capabilities without judgment. Physical awareness reinforces emotional and mental well-being, supporting self-love and authentic confidence. It is essential to remember that comparison is a habit that takes time to change. Progress may be gradual, and setbacks are natural. Each moment of awareness, conscious choice, or self-compassion strengthens your ability to prioritize your path over others' standards. Patience and persistence are key to lasting transformation. Community and support play a role. Surround yourself with people who encourage individuality, celebrate authenticity, and respect personal growth. Avoid environments that foster unhealthy competition, jealousy, or constant judgment. Supportive relationships reinforce confidence and diminish the need to measure your worth against others. Reflection exercises deepen the process. Identify areas of life where comparison is most prominent, such as career, appearance, skills, or social relationships. Analyze triggers, patterns, and responses. Develop strategies to redirect focus to personal growth, self-recognition, and alignment with values. Structured reflection enhances awareness and accelerates emotional transformation. Visualization can also extend to future goals. Imagine achieving your dreams, fully embracing your unique strengths without concern for others' paths. Experience the satisfaction, pride, and joy that comes from acting authentically and appreciating your journey. Visualization reinforces self-belief and reduces reliance on comparison as a measure of success. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that comparison is a natural tendency, but not a requirement. You can choose to observe, redirect, and release it through awareness, mindfulness, journaling, visualization, affirmations, gratitude, and reflection. You cultivate a sense of self that is independent, confident, and resilient. Your worth is inherent, and your journey is valuable, complete with its challenges, triumphs, and unique path. Take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and reflect on your life. Identify areas where comparison has dominated your thoughts and acknowledge the steps you are taking to release it. Visualize yourself walking confidently on your path, appreciating your journey, and embracing your unique strength. Each day is an opportunity to reinforce self-love and release the burden of comparison. Letting go of comparison is not a single act, but a continuous practice. Each moment of awareness, each conscious choice to celebrate your uniqueness, each act of self-compassion strengthens your internal foundation. Over time, your internal voice becomes your guide, providing support, encouragement, and affirmation that you are enough as you are. By releasing comparison, you reclaim energy, focus, and joy. You are free to pursue goals, build relationships, and live authentically without the weight of envy or self-judgment. You can fully engage with life, confident in your value and trusting in the unique trajectory of your journey. Each day offers opportunities to practice awareness, reflection, gratitude, affirmation, and mindful observation. Through persistence and intentionality, letting go of comparison becomes a natural part of your life, reinforcing the journey of loving yourself more than anyone else. Chapter 8. Embracing your authentic self. Many people live lives shaped by expectations, conditioning, and the desire to fit in. They modify their behaviors, hide parts of themselves, and wear masks to be accepted, liked, or admired. While adaptation is natural, constantly prioritizing others' perceptions over your own truth creates disconnection, dissatisfaction, and a lack of self-love. Embracing your authentic self is about uncovering who you truly are, accepting every aspect of your being, and acting in alignment with your values, desires, and passions. The first step in embracing authenticity is self-awareness. Observe your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Notice moments when you feel constrained, performative, or misaligned with your true self. These moments are clues pointing to areas where masks or conditioned patterns dominate. Awareness does not require immediate change. It simply allows recognition and reflection. Understanding the origins of inauthentic behavior is essential. Often, you have learned to suppress certain traits to gain approval, avoid conflict, or fit in socially. Messages from childhood, societal norms, cultural expectations, and peer pressure can reinforce these patterns. By identifying the sources, you can differentiate between authentic desires and conditioned responses, creating space for conscious choice. One practical exercise is journaling your authentic desires. Write about activities, relationships, or goals that genuinely excite you, regardless of what others might think. Reflect on moments when you felt fully yourself, alive, and at ease. This exercise reconnects you with your innate preferences, values, and identity. This exercise highlights areas for conscious alignment with your authentic self. Visualization supports the journey toward authenticity. Imagine a version of yourself living fully aligned with your values, passions, and desires. Picture expressing opinions freely, engaging in activities that bring joy, and interacting with others without fear of judgment. Visualize the energy, confidence, and fulfillment that emerge from living authentically. This practice strengthens internal motivation and clarifies your path. Mindfulness enhances the process. Observe internal and external cues that trigger inauthentic behavior. When you notice tendencies to perform or conform, pause and ask, is this choice aligned with my truth or shaped by external pressure? Mindful awareness fosters conscious action, reducing habitual suppression of authentic expression. Affirmations can reinforce authenticity. Statements such as I honor my true self, my thoughts and feelings are valid, and I act in alignment with my values nurture internal validation and courage. Repeat these affirmations daily or in moments of uncertainty to strengthen connection with your authentic self. Self-compassion is vital. Embracing authenticity may bring discomfort, fear, or guilt. Treat yourself gently as you explore new ways of being. Recognize that suppression of the self is learned, not inherent, and that every step toward authenticity is progress. Compassion allows you to navigate challenges without self-judgment, fostering growth and confidence. Boundaries play a crucial role in authentic living. Clearly defining limits protects your energy, preserves integrity, and reduces compromise with external expectations. Understanding these differences strengthens motivation to align future choices with your authentic self. Engaging in creative expression nurtures authenticity. Activities such as writing, painting, music, or movement provide channels for self-discovery and emotional release. Creative expression allows exploration of inner thoughts and feelings without external judgment, reinforcing self-connection and authentic. Gratitude for your individuality reinforces self-acceptance. Reflect on qualities, skills, and traits that make you unique. Celebrate your strengths, quirks, and differences. Recognize that your individuality is valuable and contributes meaningfully to relationships, communities, and the world. Gratitude shifts focus from comparison and conformity to appreciation and self-love. It is natural to experience fear when embracing authenticity. Fear of judgment, rejection, or loss may arise. Acknowledge these feelings without suppression. Observe them, breathe through them, and consciously act despite discomfort. Courage is not absence of fear, but willingness to act aligned with your truth. Each act of bravery reinforces connection with your authentic self. Practical exercises can facilitate daily alignment. Start by identifying small areas where you can act authentically each day. Speak your truth in conversation. Choose activities that reflect genuine interests, or make decisions based on personal values rather than external expectations. Gradually, these small acts accumulate into a lifestyle of authenticity. Physical practices support internal alignment. Movement, posture, and presence influence internal states. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and engage fully in actions that reflect your true self. Physical alignment reinforces emotional and mental authenticity, creating coherence between body, mind, and spirit. Community and social support play a role in authentic living. Surround yourself with people who respect, honor, and encourage your true self. Seek mentors, friends, or groups aligned with your values and passions. Positive social reinforcement strengthens courage, reduces fear of judgment, and supports consistent authentic expression. Forgiveness enhances authenticity. Release past regrets about moments when you compromised yourself to please others or conform. Forgive yourself for hesitation, fear, or doubt. This clears emotional space for self-expression, self-acceptance, and alignment with your values. Forgiveness allows you to act freely without the weight of past constraints. Daily reflection strengthens connection with authenticity. At the end of each day, review moments when you acted from your true self and areas where external influence dominated. Celebrate successes, learn from challenges, and plan conscious choices for the following day. Reflection fosters continuous growth, self-awareness, and alignment. Visualization can extend to future goals. Imagine living a life fully aligned with your passions, purpose, and values. Experience the fulfillment, energy, and joy of authentic living. This vision serves as a guide, inspiring daily choices and reinforcing motivation to maintain authenticity. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that authenticity is both a mindset and a practice. Awareness, mindfulness, reflection, journaling, affirmation, boundary setting, creative expression, and courage collectively nurture the ability to live in alignment with your true self. Authenticity strengthens self-love, confidence, and fulfillment, while reducing stress, fear, and disconnection. Take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. Reflect on areas of life where authenticity has been suppressed. Visualize yourself acting fully aligned with your values, desires, and passions. Feel the freedom, strength, and satisfaction that emerge from living authentically. Guiding choices, relationships, and experiences, you will notice deeper self-connection, increased confidence, and a profound sense of inner peace. This chapter emphasizes that authenticity is not about perfection or constant clarity. It is about commitment to truth, courage to act, and willingness to embrace every part of yourself. With awareness, practice, and persistence, authenticity transforms life into a journey of self-love, freedom, and fulfillment. Chapter 9: Overcoming Fear and Doubt. Fear and doubt are natural parts of the human experience. They serve as signals, alerting you to potential risks and guiding decision-making. However, when fear and doubt dominate your mind, they become barriers to growth, self-love, and fulfillment. Overcoming these obstacles requires awareness, understanding, and practical strategies to navigate uncertainty, build confidence, and act courageously. The first step in overcoming fear and doubt is recognition. Identify the areas of your life where fear holds you back. Is it fear of failure, rejection, or inadequacy? Recognize the specific doubts that arise and observe how they influence your decisions and behavior. Awareness creates the space to respond consciously rather than react automatically. Understanding the origins of fear and doubt is essential. Often, these feelings are rooted in past experiences, societal conditioning, or negative self-talk. Childhood experiences, criticism, or failure can create beliefs such as "I am not good enough," "I cannot succeed," or "I am unworthy." Recognizing the source allows you to separate past conditioning from present reality. One practical exercise is journaling your fears and doubts. Write down situations where you felt fear or uncertainty. Describe the associated thoughts and emotions, and analyze how these patterns affect your actions. Then challenge each belief by examining evidence that contradicts it. This exercise strengthens critical thinking and helps reframe perception. Visualization is a powerful tool to confront fear. Imagine yourself in a situation that normally triggers doubt or anxiety. Visualize acting confidently, making decisions aligned with your values, and facing challenges with courage. Notice how your body and mind feel in this scenario. Practicing visualization regularly prepares you to respond effectively in real life and reduces the power of fear. Mindfulness enhances the ability to navigate fear and doubt. Observe thoughts and emotions without judgment, acknowledging their presence while remaining grounded in the present moment. Recognize that fear is often a projection of imagined outcomes rather than an accurate prediction of reality. Mindfulness diminishes anxiety, fosters clarity, and supports conscious action. Affirmations help rewire negative thought patterns. Statements such as "I am capable," "I trust myself," "I face challenges with courage," and "I am worthy of success" reinforce confidence and reduce self-doubt. Repeat these affirmations daily, especially in moments of uncertainty or fear, to strengthen internal resilience. Small, incremental action builds courage. Facing fear does not require large leaps immediately. Begin with manageable steps that challenge doubt without overwhelming you. Each small success reinforces confidence, demonstrating that fear is not an absolute barrier. Gradually, the accumulation of these experiences transforms perception, turning fear into an opportunity for growth rather than a limitation. Self-compassion is essential during this process. Fear and doubt often bring self-criticism, impatience, or guilt. Treat yourself with kindness and patience as you confront these emotions. Recognize that overcoming fear is a journey, not a single event. Compassion allows you to persevere without harsh judgment or discouragement. Reflection on past successes strengthens confidence. Recall times when you faced challenges, uncertainty, or fear, and overcame them. Analyze the strategies, strengths, and qualities that enabled you to succeed. Recognizing your resilience and capability reinforces self-belief and reduces the power of current doubts. Physical practices support emotional regulation. Breathwork, stretching, or mindful movement helps release tension associated with fear. Techniques such as deep diaphragmatic breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or yoga calm the nervous system, creating mental clarity and emotional stability. Physical alignment enhances courage and decision-making under pressure. Exposure therapy is another effective approach. Gradually face situations that trigger fear in controlled, manageable ways. Observe your responses, practice coping strategies, and expand comfort zones over time. Repeated exposure desensitizes anxiety and strengthens confidence, demonstrating that you can navigate challenges successfully. Community support reinforces courage. Engage with mentors, friends, or groups that provide encouragement, guidance, and perspective. Sharing fears and doubts with trusted individuals fosters emotional release, validation, and insight. Social support reinforces belief in your capability to face challenges independently. Gratitude shifts perspective from fear to appreciation. Reflect on strengths, achievements, and lessons learned from past challenges. Recognize that each obstacle faced, each fear confronted, and each doubt questioned contributes to growth, resilience, and self-trust. Gratitude reinforces the understanding that you are capable of navigating uncertainty with competence and courage. Cognitive restructuring helps challenge irrational fears. When a fearful thought arises, ask, is this belief factual, or is it an assumption? What evidence supports or contradicts it? How likely is the feared outcome? Reframing thoughts with logic and perspective diminishes their emotional power and fosters rational decision-making. A visualization combined with affirmations strengthens belief in your abilities. Imagine achieving desired outcomes despite fear. Repeat affirmations reinforcing capability, and embody the physical and emotional state of confidence. These techniques integrate mind and body, reinforcing courage and reducing hesitation. Forgiveness also plays a role in overcoming doubt. Release past regrets, perceived failures, or moments of hesitation. Recognize that mistakes were learning opportunities rather than proof of inadequacy. Forgiveness clears emotional blocks, creating space for confident action and self-compassion. Daily reflection reinforces learning. At the end of each day, review moments of fear or doubt. Note responses, celebrate successes, and identify areas for growth. Structured reflection strengthens awareness, insight, and intentionality, fostering continuous progress in managing fear and doubt. Self-acceptance is essential. Accept that fear and doubt are natural, not signs of weakness. Acknowledge their presence without judgment, while maintaining commitment to act aligned with your values. Acceptance diminishes resistance, reduces anxiety, and empowers courageous decision-making. Practical exercises include creating a fear list, ranking fears from least to most challenging, and planning gradual exposure. Combine journaling, visualization, affirmations, and mindful reflection to systematically address each fear. Structured practice builds confidence, competence, and resilience, reinforcing self-love and autonomy. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that fear and doubt are not barriers to self-love, but opportunities for growth. Through awareness, reflection, journaling, visualization, affirmations, exposure, mindfulness, physical practices, social support, and self-compassion, you can navigate uncertainty with courage, confidence, and resilience. Take a moment to breathe deeply and reflect. Identify areas where fear or doubt has influenced your decisions. Visualize yourself facing these situations with confidence, acting from alignment with your values, and trusting your abilities. Notice the empowerment, freedom, and peace that emerge from courageously engaging with life despite uncertainty. Overcoming fear and doubt is an ongoing journey. Each step, no matter how small, strengthens self-trust, resilience, and the capacity to act with integrity. Daily practice, reflection, and conscious choice transform fear from a limiting force into a guide, teacher, and motivator, reinforcing your ability to love yourself more than anyone else. Chapter 10. Building unshakable confidence. Confidence is a cornerstone of self-love and personal growth. It allows you to act decisively, express yourself authentically, and pursue your goals without hesitation. Many people struggle with confidence, confusing it with arrogance or thinking it is an innate trait. In reality, confidence is a skill that can be cultivated through practice, awareness, and intentional action. Building unshakable confidence requires understanding, self-reflection, and consistent effort to align thoughts, behaviors, and beliefs with your true potential. The first step in building confidence is self-awareness. Identify areas where you feel insecure, hesitant, or self-doubting. Notice the triggers, situations, or comparisons that undermine your belief in yourself. Awareness provides insight into patterns, allowing you to consciously challenge limiting thoughts and replace them with empowering alternatives. Understanding the sources of insecurity is essential. Often, low confidence stems from past experiences, negative self-talk, or social conditioning. Childhood criticism, failures, or perceived inadequacies can shape self-perception. Recognizing these influences allows you to separate learned beliefs from inherent potential, creating space for growth and empowerment. One practical exercise is to create a confidence journal. Each day, write down 3 accomplishments, qualities, or moments where you acted with courage or integrity. These can be small actions, like speaking up in a meeting, setting a boundary, or completing a task. Engage fully with the emotions, posture, and energy of this confident version of yourself. Repeating this exercise strengthens neural pathways associated with self-assured behavior and internalizes the feeling of confidence. Mindfulness supports confidence by cultivating presence. When you focus on the present moment, you reduce anxiety and self-criticism. Observe thoughts of doubt without judgment, acknowledge them, and redirect attention to your actions and intentions. Mindfulness fosters clarity, resilience, and a grounded sense of self, allowing you to act confidently regardless of external pressures. Affirmations reinforce belief in your abilities. Phrases such as, "I am capable," "I trust myself," "I handle challenges with courage," and "I am worthy of success" nurture internal confidence. Repeat these affirmations daily or in moments of hesitation. Over time, they reshape thought patterns and reinforce a strong, self-assured mindset. Physical practices strengthen confidence through body language and posture. Stand tall, maintain eye contact, breathe deeply, and move with intention. Non-verbal cues influence internal states as much as they affect external perception. Embodying confident physicality reinforces mental and emotional self-assurance, creating coherence between mind and body. Small, Incremental actions build lasting confidence. Begin with manageable challenges that push you slightly outside your comfort zone. Each successful experience demonstrates competence, reduces fear, and strengthens belief in your abilities. Gradually, confidence grows, empowering you to face increasingly complex situations with composure and certainty. Self-compassion is essential during this journey. Confidence is not about perfection or constant success. It is about trusting yourself and learning from experiences. When mistakes occur, treat yourself with kindness. Reflect on lessons and apply insights constructively. Compassion sustains motivation and prevents self-criticism from eroding progress. Reflection on past achievements reinforces self-belief. Recall times when you succeeded despite fear, doubt, or challenges. Analyze the qualities, strategies, and mindset that contributed to success. Recognizing your resilience and capabilities strengthens confidence, reminding you that you have the skills and determination to navigate future obstacles. Community support enhances confidence building. Surround yourself with mentors, peers, and friends who encourage growth, provide constructive feedback, and model self-assured behavior. Positive social reinforcement strengthens internal belief, providing examples and validation without creating dependency. Gratitude shifts focus from deficiencies to strengths. Reflect on qualities, accomplishments, and experiences that demonstrate your competence and growth. Regular acknowledgement of strengths nurtures a sense of capability and reinforces confidence from within, rather than relying on external validation. Cognitive restructuring helps challenge limiting beliefs. When doubts arise, examine their validity, evidence, and likelihood. Replace irrational thoughts with rational, empowering alternatives. For example, instead of thinking "I cannot succeed," reframe to "I have the skills and persistence to handle challenges." This process strengthens critical thinking and reduces the influence of fear and insecurity on confidence. Visualization combined with affirmations enhances reinforcement. Imagine successfully achieving a goal, acting confidently, and embodying self-assurance. Repeat affirmations aligned with this vision to integrate mental, emotional, and physical states, creating a holistic sense of unshakable confidence. Exposure therapy is another effective strategy. Gradually confront situations that challenge your confidence, starting with manageable scenarios and progressing to more demanding experiences. Observe responses, apply learned strategies, and celebrate successes. Repeated exposure desensitizes fear and strengthens competence, reinforcing the belief that you can handle challenges effectively. Daily reflection consolidates growth. Review moments where you acted confidently, note lessons learned from hesitation, and identify areas for improvement. Structured reflection provides insight, reinforces awareness, and fosters intentional decision-making, strengthening long-term confidence. Forgiveness supports confidence by releasing the burden of past failures or mistakes. Accept that errors were learning opportunities, not indicators of inadequacy. Forgive yourself for perceived shortcomings, allowing self-trust and courage to flourish without the weight of regret or criticism. Authenticity enhances confidence. When actions align with values, desires, and intentions, self-assurance naturally follows. Acting authentically reduces fear of judgment and strengthens internal validation, creating unshakable confidence rooted in truth, rather than external approval. Practical exercises for building confidence include daily goal setting, reflecting on achievements, practicing assertive communication, engaging in skill development, and gradually expanding comfort zones. Consistency across these practices integrates confidence into daily life, making it a natural expression of self-belief. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that unshakable confidence is cultivated through awareness, reflection, mindfulness, visualization, affirmations, physical practices, incremental action, self-compassion, community support, cognitive restructuring, and authenticity. Confidence is not innate, but developed through consistent, intentional practice, aligning thought, emotion, and behavior with your true potential. Take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. Reflect on areas where self-doubt has limited action. Visualize yourself acting with clarity, courage, and authenticity. Feel the power, freedom, and self-assurance that emerge from trusting yourself. Each day provides opportunities to strengthen confidence, reinforcing your ability to love yourself more than anyone else. Building unshakable confidence is an ongoing journey. With awareness, practice, and persistence, you will navigate challenges with resilience, act decisively, and embrace life fully. Confidence becomes an integral part of your identity, supporting personal growth, self-love, and fulfillment in every aspect of your life. Chapter 11. Cultivating self-compassion. Self-compassion is the foundation of self-love. It allows you to treat yourself with kindness, understanding, and patience, especially during challenges, mistakes, or moments of doubt. Many people struggle with self-criticism, internal judgment, and harsh expectations, which undermine confidence, happiness, and personal growth. Cultivating self-compassion is not about indulgence or avoidance of responsibility. It is about fostering a nurturing relationship with yourself that strengthens resilience, emotional well-being, and authenticity. The first step in developing self-compassion is awareness. Notice moments when you judge yourself harshly, criticize your actions, or focus on perceived shortcomings. Observe the language, tone, and intensity of your self-talk. Awareness provides clarity about the patterns that undermine self-love, creating opportunities for intentional change and conscious nurturing. Understanding the origin of self-criticism is essential. Often, it arises from past experiences, societal conditioning, or cultural expectations. Childhood messages, academic pressure, and social comparison can instill beliefs such as "I am not enough," "I must be perfect," or "I need to earn love." Recognizing these influences allows you to separate conditioned beliefs from your inherent worth, creating space for compassion and self-acceptance. One practical exercise is self-compassion journaling. Each day, write about moments when you were critical of yourself. Then, rewrite the narrative with kindness, understanding, and encouragement. When negative thoughts or emotions arise, pause and acknowledge them. Recognize that feeling imperfect or vulnerable is part of being human. Observe your experience with curiosity and openness rather than resistance. Mindfulness allows you to respond with care and understanding, fostering self-compassion in real time. Visualization reinforces compassionate self-talk. Imagine speaking to yourself as you would to a dear friend or loved one. Picture offering encouragement, understanding, and patience in moments of struggle or failure. Engage fully with the feelings of warmth, support, and acceptance. Visualization strengthens emotional connection to self-compassion and nurtures an internal supportive voice. Affirmations nurture a compassionate mindset. Phrases such as, "I am deserving of love and care," "I treat myself with kindness," "I allow myself to grow through mistakes," and "I am worthy of understanding" reinforce self-love and reduce self-criticism. Repeat these affirmations daily, especially when facing challenges or self-doubt, to internalize supportive thought patterns. Physical practices enhance self-compassion. Gentle movement, breathwork, or mindful touch helps soothe the nervous system and reinforces nurturing energy. Activities such as yoga, stretching, or simply placing a hand over your heart while breathing deeply connect body and mind, fostering calm, reassurance, and self-acceptance. Gratitude strengthens self-compassion by focusing attention on strengths, accomplishments, and positive qualities. Each day list aspects of yourself that you appreciate, from personal traits to actions and achievements. Recognizing your value, even in small moments, reinforces internal validation, and fosters an empathetic relationship with yourself. Exposure to imperfection cultivates compassion. Allow yourself to make mistakes, experience vulnerability, and engage in learning without harsh judgment. Reflect on what you can learn from challenges rather than criticizing yourself for shortcomings. Over time, repeated exposure reduces fear, enhances resilience, and strengthens self-compassion as a habitual response. Boundaries play a critical role in nurturing self-compassion. Protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being allows you to maintain alignment with personal values and priorities. Saying no, asserting needs, and reducing exposure to negativity are acts of care that reinforce self-respect and compassion. Reflection deepens the practice. At the end of each day, review moments of difficulty, judgment, or challenge. Consider how self-compassion could have been applied and how it was applied in successful instances. Recognize progress, celebrate small victories, and identify strategies to reinforce compassionate behavior in the future. Community support can enhance self-compassion. Surround yourself with individuals who model kindness, empathy, and understanding. Observing and engaging with compassionate people reinforces your own practice and provides guidance on nurturing yourself in challenging situations. Cognitive reframing strengthens the internal dialogue. Challenge thoughts that promote harsh judgment or self-criticism. Ask whether these beliefs are accurate, fair, or helpful. Replace them with constructive, nurturing alternatives that encourage growth, learning, and emotional balance. Cognitive reframing aligns thoughts with compassionate action. Forgiveness is integral to self-compassion. Release past regrets, mistakes, or perceived failures. Accept that imperfection is part of the human experience, and that growth emerges from learning, not perfection. Forgiveness frees emotional energy, allowing care, understanding, and nurturing toward yourself to flourish. Practical exercises to cultivate self-compassion include daily journaling, mindful observation of thoughts and emotions, visualization, affirmations, gratitude practices, exposure to imperfection, boundary setting, and reflective review. Integrating these techniques consistently creates a supportive internal environment that strengthens self-love and resilience. Visualization of future challenges enhances preparedness. Imagine encountering situations that previously triggered self-criticism. Visualize responding with understanding, patience, and supportive internal dialogue. Experience the emotional and physical state of self-compassion. This practice builds resilience, reinforces confidence, and nurtures long-term emotional well-being. Small, incremental steps build habitual self-compassion. Begin with moments of minor imperfection or discomfort, applying mindful care, supportive thoughts, and nurturing actions. Gradually, extend this approach to more challenging scenarios. Consistent practice transforms self-compassion into a default response, rather than an occasional choice. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that cultivating self-compassion is essential for self-love, confidence, and emotional resilience. Through awareness, journaling, mindfulness, visualization, affirmations, gratitude, exposure to imperfection, boundary setting, reflection, and forgiveness, you create a nurturing relationship with yourself that supports growth, authenticity, and fulfillment. Take a moment to breathe deeply and reflect. Notice areas where self-criticism dominates, and consciously replace judgment with care, patience, and understanding. Visualize yourself approaching challenges, mistakes, and vulnerabilities with empathy and kindness. Feel the warmth, strength, and peace that emerge from self-compassion. Each day provides opportunities to reinforce this practice, strengthening your capacity to love yourself more than anyone else. Cultivating self-compassion is a lifelong journey. With consistent practice, awareness, and intentionality, you will develop an internal supportive voice that guides, nurtures, and empowers. Many people postpone happiness, waiting for achievements, approval, or external validation. Prioritizing your happiness means taking ownership of your emotional well-being, making decisions that nourish your spirit, and embracing the moments, choices, and relationships that bring fulfillment and joy. The first step in prioritizing happiness is self-awareness. Observe your emotions, identify sources of joy, and recognize patterns that drain energy or satisfaction. Understanding what truly matters to you allows conscious alignment of daily actions with personal values, rather than reactive living dictated by external demands or societal expectations. Understanding the obstacles to happiness is essential. Common barriers include overcommitment, people-pleasing, comparison, fear, and attachment to outcomes. Many individuals sacrifice personal well-being for obligations, approval, or temporary gains, neglecting the very experiences that bring contentment and meaning. Recognizing these patterns enables intentional change and prioritization of self-care and joy. One practical exercise is a happiness audit. Write down activities, people, and situations that consistently bring joy and fulfillment. Then list those that drain energy, create stress, or diminish satisfaction. Review your commitments and choices, and identify opportunities to incorporate more of what nurtures happiness while minimizing draining influences. Mindfulness enhances the ability to prioritize happiness. Observe the present moment without judgment, fully engaging with experiences as they unfold. Recognize fleeting moments of joy, pleasure, and contentment. Mindful awareness prevents distraction by worry, regret, or expectation, allowing intentional attention to activities and choices that support emotional well-being. Gratitude reinforces happiness by shifting focus from scarcity to abundance. Visualization supports intentional happiness. Imagine a day in which your choices, interactions, and actions reflect your values and bring fulfillment. Picture engaging with people and activities that nourish your spirit, responding to challenges with calm and clarity, and ending the day with satisfaction and peace. This practice clarifies priorities and motivates consistent alignment with personal well-being. Affirmations foster a mindset that prioritizes happiness. Phrases such as "I deserve joy," "I choose what nourishes me," "I honor my well-being," and "I am worthy of fulfillment" reinforce internal permission to pursue happiness. Repeat these affirmations daily, especially when faced with external pressures or obligations that may conflict with personal priorities. Boundaries are essential for sustaining happiness. Clearly define limits in relationships, work, and commitments to protect energy, time, and emotional balance. Saying no when necessary, asserting needs, and reducing exposure to negativity are acts of self-respect and proactive steps toward prioritizing personal joy. Reflection deepens understanding of happiness. At the end of each day, review moments that brought satisfaction or joy, as well as those that caused stress or discomfort. Identify patterns, triggers, and lessons that inform intentional choices in the future. Structured reflection strengthens awareness and reinforces conscious living aligned with personal fulfillment. Community and social support influence happiness. Surround yourself with individuals who encourage, support, and uplift. Engage with people who reflect positivity, authenticity, and shared values. Healthy relationships enhance well-being, reinforce priorities, and provide encouragement in sustaining happiness-focused practices. Cognitive reframing supports emotional balance. When challenges arise, reinterpret situations to emphasize opportunities, learning, and growth, rather than frustration, blame, or negativity. Shifting perspective reduces emotional drain and fosters a mindset conducive to consistent happiness and resilience. Engaging in activities that align with passion and purpose reinforces fulfillment. Dedicate time to hobbies, creative expression, personal growth, or meaningful contribution. Regular engagement in purposeful activities nurtures self-esteem, satisfaction, and a deep sense of happiness grounded in authenticity and achievement. Physical practices enhance emotional well-being. Movement, exercise, and mindful body work reduce stress, release tension, and increase energy. Practices such as yoga, walking, stretching, or mindful breathing strengthen connection to body and mind, supporting overall happiness and vitality. Self-compassion reinforces prioritization of happiness. Treat yourself with kindness, patience, and understanding, especially when faced with setbacks, mistakes, or challenges. Compassion nurtures emotional resilience, reduces self-criticism, and allows consistent engagement in practices that promote joy and well-being. Visualization of long-term goals supports intentional happiness. Picture a future where daily life reflects values, priorities, and fulfillment. Imagine balanced relationships, meaningful work, personal growth, and consistent self-care. Engage with emotions associated with this vision, cultivating motivation to act consciously and sustain choices aligned with happiness. Exposure to joy enhances practice. Consciously seek opportunities to experience pleasure, connection, and satisfaction. Experiment with new activities, social interactions, or creative expression. Observing the impact of these experiences reinforces understanding of what nurtures happiness, guiding ongoing intentional choices. Journaling supports clarity and alignment. Record experiences, reflections, and insights related to personal well-being. Note moments of fulfillment, challenges, and lessons learned. Writing enhances understanding of priorities, tracks progress, and provides a reference for conscious decision-making. Forgiveness supports emotional freedom. Release past grievances, regrets, or attachments that hinder present joy. Accept imperfection in yourself and others, creating emotional space for happiness. Forgiveness nurtures inner peace, strengthens resilience, and reinforces prioritization of well-being. Small, consistent actions accumulate to sustain long-term happiness. Begin with simple practices such as engaging in meaningful conversation, pursuing hobbies, spending time in nature, or practicing daily gratitude. Gradually expand actions to include broader lifestyle choices, relationships, and work alignment that reinforce fulfillment and joy. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that prioritizing happiness is an intentional practice grounded in self-awareness, reflection, mindfulness, gratitude, visualization, affirmation, boundaries, community, cognitive reframing, purposeful engagement, physical care, self-compassion, journaling, forgiveness, and consistent action. Happiness is a choice, not a byproduct, and taking deliberate steps to nurture it transforms life into one of satisfaction, resilience, and self-love. Take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. Reflect on areas of life where happiness may have been neglected. Visualize acting in alignment with your values, engaging in meaningful experiences, and creating moments of fulfillment. Notice the joy, peace, and energy that emerge from consciously prioritizing your well-being. Each day offers opportunities to reinforce this practice, strengthening your capacity to love yourself more than anyone else. Prioritizing happiness is a lifelong journey. With awareness, intention, and consistent practice, you cultivate a life filled with fulfillment, balance, and joy. It is not about avoiding hardship or being unaffected by difficulties. Rather, it is the ability to navigate life with strength, perspective, and adaptability. Building resilience enhances self-love, confidence, and overall well-being, allowing you to face challenges with courage and clarity, while maintaining a positive outlook. The first step in cultivating resilience is self-awareness. Observe how you respond to stress, setbacks, or unexpected changes. Notice patterns of reaction, thought, and emotion. Awareness allows you to recognize habitual responses that may undermine resilience, creating opportunities for intentional growth and adaptive strategies. Understanding the sources of vulnerability is essential. Past experiences, fear of failure, perfectionism, or negative self-talk can diminish resilience. Recognizing these influences enables you to separate past conditioning from present choices, empowering you to cultivate strength and adaptability. One practical exercise is journaling challenges and response. Write about a difficult situation, your immediate reaction, thoughts and emotions. Then reflect on alternative ways to approach similar challenges, focusing on adaptive strategies, strengths, and lessons learned. Journaling fosters perspective, emotional processing, and proactive problem solving. Mindfulness strengthens resilience by fostering presence, clarity, and emotional regulation. Observe thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing challenges to exist without overwhelming your response. Mindful awareness reduces impulsivity, anxiety, and emotional reactivity, supporting thoughtful decision-making and adaptive coping. Visualization enhances resilience. Imagine encountering a challenge with calm, confidence, and creativity. Visualize navigating obstacles successfully, learning from setbacks, and emerging strong. Statements such as, "I am capable of overcoming challenges. I learn and grow from adversity. I trust myself to handle difficulties, and I adapt with strength and courage," reinforce belief in your ability to navigate life with resilience. Repeat these affirmations daily or in moments of stress. Physical practices reinforce resilience. Movement, exercise, and mindful breathwork reduce stress, release tension, and strengthen emotional regulation. Activities such as yoga, walking, stretching, or focused breathing connect body and mind, enhancing capacity to respond to challenges with calm and energy. Small, incremental exposure to challenges strengthens resilience. Start with manageable stresses or difficult tasks, observe responses, and practice adaptive strategies. Gradually increase complexity and difficulty. Each successful experience builds confidence, demonstrating that you can navigate adversity effectively. Self-compassion is essential. Facing challenges may bring frustration, self-criticism, or emotional discomfort. Treat yourself with kindness and patience, recognizing that resilience develops through practice and experience. Compassion reduces emotional burden and supports perseverance during difficult times. Reflection on past experiences strengthens adaptive capacity, recalls situations where you overcame obstacles, recovered from setbacks, or adapted to change successfully. Analyze strategies, strengths, and mindset that facilitated success. Recognizing resilience already present reinforces confidence in handling future challenges. Community and social support enhance resilience. Surround yourself with individuals who provide encouragement, guidance, and perspective. Sharing challenges and receiving support fosters emotional release, validation, and problem-solving insight. Strong social connections are a protective factor in resilience. Cognitive reframing transforms perception of adversity. When confronted with difficulties, interpret challenges as opportunities for growth, learning, and development, rather than threats or failures. Shifting perspective reduces emotional distress, fosters problem-solving, and strengthens adaptive capacity. Gratitude nurtures resilience by focusing attention on strengths, achievements, and positive aspects of life. Daily reflection on what is working, moments of progress, and sources of support enhances optimism and emotional stability, reinforcing the ability to cope with difficulties constructively. Practical exercise include journaling challenges and reflections, visualization of successful navigation, affirmations, mindfulness, gradual exposure to stressors, physical practice, social support engagement, cognitive reframing, and gratitude. Consistent integration strengthens emotional and mental resilience. Forgiveness supports resilience by releasing past grievances, mistakes, or disappointments that may burden emotional well-being. Accepting imperfection in yourself and others clears space for adaptive thinking, emotional regulation, and forward-focused action. Creative expression reinforces resilience. Engaging in art, writing, music, or movement allows processing of complex emotions and experiences, fostering insight, emotional release, and adaptive coping. Creative outlets provide a safe environment to explore challenges and develop problem-solving skills. Visualization of future challenges builds preparedness. Imagine encountering difficulties with clarity, confidence, and resourcefulness. Visualize adapting, solving problems, and recovering effectively. Repeated mental rehearsal strengthens internal confidence and reduces fear or hesitation in real-life scenarios. Boundaries protect energy and focus, supporting resilience. Establishing limits in relationships, commitments, and responsibilities reduces overwhelm and maintains mental and emotional resources. Boundaries enable focused engagement with challenges without excessive drain. Daily reflection reinforces adaptive growth. Review challenges faced, strategies employed, lessons learned, and moments of perseverance. Recognize progress and identify areas for improvement. Structured reflection consolidates learning and strengthens resilience as a habitual response. Small acts of courage accumulate to build unshakable resilience. Confront minor challenges, express opinions, pursue goals despite fear, or address discomfort in manageable ways. Each step demonstrates competence, reduces vulnerability to stress, and strengthens confidence in navigating future challenges. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that resilience is not an innate trait, but a cultivated skill through awareness, journaling, mindfulness, visualization, affirmations, physical practice, exposure, self-compassion, reflection, community support, cognitive reframing, gratitude, creative expression, forgiveness, and boundaries. You develop the capacity to recover from setbacks, adapt to change, and maintain emotional balance. Resilience empowers you to navigate life confidently, sustaining self-love, authenticity, and personal fulfillment. Take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. Reflect on recent challenges and how you responded. Visualize facing future obstacles with calm, clarity, and adaptability. Feel the strength, confidence, and emotional balance that emerge from resilient practice. Each day presents opportunities to strengthen this capacity, reinforcing your ability to love yourself more than anyone else. Building resilience is an ongoing journey. With consistent practice, reflection, and conscious choice, you will navigate adversity with courage, maintain emotional stability, and emerge stronger from each experience. Resilience becomes an integral aspect of your identity, supporting growth, self-love, and authentic engagement with life. Chapter 14. Nurturing positive relationships. Positive relationships are essential for emotional well-being, personal growth, and self-love development. The first step in fostering positive relationships is self-awareness. Understand your values, needs, boundaries, and emotional triggers. Recognize the type of connections that support your growth and those that may create stress or conflict. Awareness allows intentional choice of relationships aligned with your well-being and authenticity. Understanding the impact of relationships is essential. Supportive relationships provide encouragement, understanding, constructive feedback, and emotional safety. Conversely, toxic relationships involve manipulation, criticism, disrespect, or emotional drain. Recognizing the difference allows informed decisions about who to engage with and how to invest your time and energy. One practical exercise is relationship mapping. List significant relationships in your life and categorize them based on positivity, support, and alignment with your values. Reflect on interactions, emotional impact, and growth potential. Identify areas for improvement, boundaries to establish, or connections to nurture further. This exercise clarifies priorities and guides intentional relationship building. Effective communication strengthens positive connections. Practice active listening, empathy, and clarity in expressing thoughts and feelings. Avoid assumptions. Respond rather than react. And validate the perspectives of others while asserting your own. Clear, respectful communication fosters trust, reduces conflict, and deepens connection. Mindfulness enhances relational awareness. Observe emotional reactions during interactions without immediate judgment or response. Notice patterns of behavior, triggers, and areas of potential misunderstanding. Mindfulness allows conscious, thoughtful engagement with others, strengthening mutual understanding and reducing conflict. Boundaries are vital in nurturing healthy relationships. Clearly define limits regarding time, energy, emotional involvement, and personal space. Communicate boundaries respectfully and enforce them consistently. Boundaries protect well-being, reduce resentment, and create safe spaces for authentic connection. Gratitude nurtures positive relationships. Regularly acknowledge and appreciate the support, kindness, and contributions of others. Expressing gratitude fosters trust, strengthens bonds, and reinforces mutual respect. Simple gestures of acknowledgement and appreciation can significantly enhance relational quality. Conflict is a natural part of human interaction. Approach disagreements with a problem-solving mindset rather than blame or criticism. Focus on understanding, compromise, and resolution, maintaining respect and empathy. Constructive conflict management strengthens relationships and fosters growth for both parties. Self-compassion supports relational health. Recognize that mistakes, misunderstandings, or moments of frustration are part of being human. Treat yourself with kindness and patience, allowing space for learning and improvement in interaction. Self-compassion reduces defensiveness, fosters emotional regulation, and enhances connection. Reflection deepens relational insight. After interactions, consider what went well, areas for improvement, emotional responses, and alignment with values. Identify patterns, triggers, and strategies to enhance future interactions. Structured reflection cultivates intentional relationship management and personal growth. Community and social support amplify relational benefits. Engage with groups, clubs, or networks aligned with your interests and values. Positive social environments provide encouragement, shared experiences, and opportunities for meaningful connection, reinforcing well-being and personal development. Affirmations enhance relational approach. Phrases such as, "I cultivate supportive and respectful connections," "I communicate clearly and empathetically," and "I attract positive relationships," reinforce intentionality and mindset in relational engagement. Repeat these affirmations to maintain focus and alignment with relational goals. Empathy strengthens connection. Practice understanding perspectives, emotions, and experiences of others. Empathetic engagement fosters trust, reduces conflict, and deepens intimacy. Recognize that each person has unique challenges and viewpoints, and approach interactions with curiosity, openness, and understanding. Forgiveness sustains relational harmony. Release past grievances, misunderstandings, or perceived offenses. Accept imperfection in yourself and others, and focus on growth, understanding, and mutual respect. Forgiveness reduces emotional burden, strengthens trust, and supports long-term positive connection. Physical presence and non-verbal communication impact relational quality. Eye contact, posture, tone, and gestures convey engagement, empathy, and respect. Mindful attention to non-verbal cues enhances understanding and strengthens relational bonds, complementing verbal communication. Engaging in shared experiences nurtures connection. Participate in activities, hobbies, or projects that reflect mutual interests and values. Shared experiences create opportunities for collaboration, trust, and positive memory making, deepening relational bonds. Cognitive reframing supports relational health. Reinterpret challenging interactions or conflicts as opportunities for learning, understanding, and personal growth. Shifting perspective reduces defensiveness, emotional reactivity, and resentment, enhancing relational quality and resilience. Practical exercise include journaling, relational dynamics, mindfulness during interactions, boundary setting, gratitude expression, conflict resolution practice, empathy exercises, affirmation repetition, shared experiences, and reflection. Integrating these techniques consistently fosters positive, supportive, and growth-oriented relationships. Visualization reinforces relational goals. Imagine interactions with clarity, understanding, and empathy. Picture communicating effectively, establishing boundaries, resolving conflicts constructively, and nurturing meaningful connections. Engage with emotions, tone, and body language to internalize relational skills. Small, consistent acts of care accumulate to strengthen relationships. Regularly express appreciation, offer support, listen attentively, and maintain honesty. These gestures, though simple, create a foundation of trust, respect, and mutual growth that enhances relational satisfaction and well-being. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that nurturing positive relationships is intentional, requiring awareness, communication, empathy, boundaries, reflection, mindfulness, gratitude, forgiveness, shared experiences, cognitive reframing, affirmations, and consistent action. Healthy relationships reinforce self-love, resilience, happiness, and personal growth, while toxic relationships drain energy and undermine fulfillment. Take a moment to breathe deeply and reflect. Consider relationships that nurture or drain your energy. Visualize yourself engaging authentically, setting boundaries, communicating clearly, expressing gratitude, and fostering understanding. Notice the connection, trust, and satisfaction that emerge from intentional positive relational engagement. Nurturing positive relationships is an ongoing journey. With consistent practice, reflection, and conscious choice, you create connections that enhance well-being, personal growth, and self-love. Each interaction becomes an opportunity to strengthen bonds, practice empathy, and live authentically in alignment with your values. Chapter 15. Living a life of self-love. Self-love is the culmination of awareness, practice, and intention. It is the conscious choice to honor your needs, respect your boundaries, cultivate resilience, and prioritize your happiness. Notice areas where you are critical, hesitant, or neglectful of your needs. Awareness allows you to recognize patterns, make conscious choices, and act in alignment with your values, nurturing self-respect and personal growth. Understanding the principles of self-love is essential. Self-love involves self-compassion, confidence, resilience, mindfulness, healthy boundaries, prioritization of happiness, and nurturing positive relationships. These elements interconnect, reinforcing each other and creating a holistic approach to well-being. Recognizing this interconnectedness allows intentional practice and sustainable danta. Practical exercises begin with daily reflection. Each day, take time to review moments where you honored your needs, acted with integrity, and practiced self-compassion. Note instances of growth, lessons learned, and areas for improvement. Structured reflection strengthens awareness, reinforces positive behaviors, and guides intentional living. Affirmations reinforce self-love. Statements such as "I am worthy of love," "I honor my needs," "I am capable of growth," and "I deserve happiness" nurture internal validation and counteract self-criticism. Repeat affirmations daily, especially in moments of doubt or challenge, to internalize supportive thought patterns and strengthen confidence. Mindfulness enhances self-love by fostering presence, clarity, and emotional balance. Observe thoughts and emotions without judgment, acknowledging them as part of the human experience. Mindfulness allows intentional responses, reduces reactivity, and strengthens alignment with personal values, promoting consistent self-care and authentic action. Visualization supports living self-love fully. Imagine a day where your choices, actions, and interactions reflect respect for yourself, authenticity, and alignment with values. Picture responding to challenges with compassion, setting boundaries confidently, and engaging in activities that bring fulfillment. Repeated visualization strengthens neural pathways associated with empowered behavior and self-respect. Gratitude reinforces self-love. Regularly acknowledge personal strengths, achievements, and experiences that bring satisfaction. Recognizing your value and contributions nurtures confidence, reduces dependency on external validation, and strengthens internal affirmation of self-worth. Boundaries are essential in sustaining self-love. Clearly define limits regarding time, energy, emotional involvement, and personal priorities. Consistently enforce these boundaries to protect well-being, prevent burnout, and maintain alignment with values. Boundaries empower intentional living and reinforce self-respect. Resilience supports self-love by allowing you to navigate challenges without compromising integrity, values, or well-being. Practice adaptive strategies, mindfulness, cognitive reframing, and exposure to manageable stresses to strengthen emotional balance and confidence. Resilience enables continued pursuit of growth and happiness despite setbacks. Healthy relationships are integral to a self-loving life. Surround yourself with supportive, respectful, and positive individuals who encourage growth and authenticity. Engage with people who reflect your values and enhance well-being, while minimizing exposure to toxic influences that drain energy or undermine confidence. Practical exercises include self-compassion journaling, reflection on achievements and challenges, mindfulness meditation, visualization of empowered living, affirmation repetition, boundary setting, engagement in meaningful activities, and evaluation of relational dynamics. Consistent practice embeds self-love into daily life, creating habitual behaviors aligned with personal values and well-being. Cognitive reframing strengthens self-love by transforming negative self-perceptions into constructive, growth-oriented perspectives. Physical practices support self-love by connecting body and mind. Movement, exercise, and mindful breathwork reduce stress, increase vitality, and reinforce emotional balance. Activities such as yoga, stretching, walking, or intentional breathing cultivate awareness, energy, and holistic well-being, enhancing the capacity to act from a place of self-respect and care. Gratitude and celebration deepen self-love. Regularly acknowledge progress, milestones, and personal growth. Celebrate achievements, no matter how small, to reinforce recognition of your worth, effort, and capability. Celebration nurtures motivation, joy, and internal validation, strengthening commitment to a life of self-love. Forgiveness sustains emotional freedom and self-respect. Release past regrets, mistakes, and perceived failures. Accept imperfection in yourself and others, focusing on learning, growth, and compassionate engagement. Forgiveness clears emotional space for self-compassion, resilience, and authentic living. Community and social support amplify self-love. Engage with mentors, peers, and groups aligned with personal values and growth. Sharing experiences, receiving guidance, and participating in supportive networks reinforces confidence, provides validation, and enhances emotional well-being. Visualization of long-term goals reinforces self-love. Imagine a life where decisions, actions, and relationships consistently reflect respect for yourself, alignment with values, and pursuit of fulfillment. Engage emotionally and physically with this vision, cultivating motivation, clarity, and intentionality in daily choices. Small, consistent actions accumulate to create a life of self-love. Prioritize activities, relationships, and habits that nurture growth, joy, and authenticity. Gradually expand engagement with challenges, new experiences, and personal goals. Each action reinforces confidence, resilience, and emotional well-being. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that living a life of self-love is an intentional, ongoing practice. Through awareness, reflection, mindfulness, affirmation, visualization, gratitude, boundary setting, resilience, nurturing relationships, cognitive reframing, physical practice, forgiveness, celebration, and consistent action, you cultivate a foundation of inner strength, authenticity, and fulfillment. Take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. Reflect on your journey of self-love, the skills and practices you have cultivated, and the areas where continued attention is beneficial. Visualize acting from a place of self-respect, authenticity, and alignment with your values. Feel the empowerment, peace, and fulfillment that arise from consciously living a life rooted in self-love. Living a life of self-love is a lifelong journey. With awareness, intention, and consistent practice, you create a foundation for happiness, resilience, growth, and authentic engagement with the world. Each choice, interaction, and action becomes an opportunity to strengthen self-love, embrace your true potential, and experience life fully, confidently, and joyfully. Chapter 16: Creating Your Self-Love Legacy. Self-love is more than a practice. It is a journey that shapes how you live, connect, and contribute to the world. Creating a self-love legacy means internalizing the lessons, practices, and habits developed throughout your journey and allowing them to guide your life consistently. It is about making choices that honor your values, nurture your well-being, and inspire growth in yourself and others. A self-love legacy is the culmination of awareness, compassion, resilience, and intentional living, creating a foundation for a fulfilling and meaningful life. The first step in creating your self-love legacy is reflection. Awareness of values is crucial. Identify what matters most to you in life, including relationships, personal growth, contribution, and emotional well-being. Clarify your principles and priorities, and consider how daily actions reflect or diverge from these values. Living intentionally in alignment with core values ensures that your self-love legacy is authentic and enduring. One practical exercise is legacy journaling. Write down the qualities, habits, and actions you wish to embody consistently. Reflect on how you want to treat yourself and others, the emotional state you want to maintain, and the impact you want to create in your life. Use this journal as a roadmap to guide decision-making and reinforce consistent self-love practices. Visualization strengthens your self-love legacy. Imagine your ideal life as a fully self-loving individual. Picture how you handle challenges, nurture relationships, and make decisions with authenticity and integrity. Envision the energy, confidence, and peace that radiate from living in alignment with your values. Visualization reinforces neural pathways associated with empowered, self-respecting behavior. Affirmations reinforce your commitment to creating a self-love legacy. Statements such as "I live with integrity and self-respect," "I nurture my growth and well-being," "I inspire positivity and authenticity," and "I honor my journey," reinforce internal guidance and habitual self-love. Repeat these affirmations daily to internalize the principles that shape your legacy. Mindfulness supports intentional living. Observe thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment, noting when behavior aligns or diverges from your self-love principles. Mindful presence strengthens awareness, reduces reactive tendencies, and reinforces intentional alignment with your values, creating a consistent and authentic self-love practice. Gratitude nurtures your legacy by fostering appreciation for yourself and the life you are creating. Regularly acknowledge personal strengths, accomplishments, and progress, as well as the support and contributions of others in your journey. Gratitude reinforces positivity, resilience, and emotional balance, ensuring your self-love legacy is grounded in awareness and appreciation. Boundaries protect your self-love legacy. Clearly define limits regarding time, energy, emotional engagement, and priorities. Consistently enforce boundaries to maintain focus on growth, fulfillment, and well-being. Boundaries are essential to sustaining practices and values that shape a meaningful self-love life. Resilience is a cornerstone of a self-love legacy. Life presents challenges, setbacks, and change. Cultivate the ability to recover, adapt, and respond with clarity and composure. Use strategies such as cognitive reframing, mindful reflection, adaptive problem-solving, and self-compassion to navigate adversity while maintaining alignment with your values. Community and relationships amplify your legacy. Engage with individuals who reflect positivity, authenticity, and growth, contributing to mutual support and inspiration. Offer guidance, encouragement, and understanding to others, reinforcing your practices while creating a ripple effect of self-love and empowerment. Practical exercises to create a self-love legacy include daily reflection, journaling principles and progress, mindfulness practice, visualization of empowered living, affirmation repetition, gratitude practice, boundary setting, resilience exercises, and relational cultivation. Consistent application integrates self-love into identity and daily life, reinforcing habitual alignment with values. Cognitive reframing supports sustainability by transforming challenges into growth opportunities. Interpret mistakes, setbacks, and imperfections as lessons, maintaining perspective and emotional stability. Creative practices deepen insight, reinforce values, and provide lasting reminders of personal growth and authentic. Physical well-being reinforces a self-love legacy. Regular movement, mindful exercise, and attention to bodily needs support energy, mental clarity, and emotional balance. A healthy body nurtures a healthy mind, ensuring you can consistently practice and embody self-love principles in daily life. Celebration and acknowledgement strengthen legacy building. Recognize achievements, progress, and milestones, no matter how small. Celebrating success reinforces positive reinforcement, motivation, and commitment to continued practice. Acknowledgement creates a cycle of appreciation that sustains long-term growth and emotional well-being. Forgiveness ensures freedom from past constraints. Release lingering resentment, regret, or blame that may inhibit growth. Forgiving yourself and others allows focus on present and future choices, ensuring your self-love legacy is unburdened and oriented toward fulfillment, authenticity, and joy. Visualization of long-term impact consolidates your legacy. Picture how your actions, choices, and presence affect your life and those around you over months and years. Imagine embodying values consistently, influencing others positively, and maintaining emotional balance and self-respect throughout challenges. This vision motivates sustained intentional practice. Small, consistent actions accumulate to form a lasting self-love legacy. Daily choices, intentional behaviors, mindful decisions, and nurturing interactions build an integrated life aligned with your values and principles. Each moment becomes an opportunity to reinforce self-respect, authenticity, and fulfillment. By the end of this chapter, you will understand that creating a self-love legacy is a lifelong commitment. Through awareness, reflection, mindfulness, affirmation, visualization, gratitude, boundaries, resilience, nurturing relationships, cognitive reframing, creative expression, physical care, celebration, and forgiveness, you cultivate a life that embodies self-love consistently and authentically. Take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. Reflect on the journey you have completed through this audiobook, the principles you have learned, and the practices you have developed. Visualize living each day with intentionality, self-respect, and authenticity. Feel the empowerment, peace, and fulfillment that emerge from consistently honoring your needs, values, and growth. Living a self-love legacy transforms your life, relationships, and engagement with the world. Each choice, interaction, and action becomes an opportunity to strengthen self-love, resilience, and fulfillment. With awareness, practice, and intention, you create a lasting impact, leaving a legacy rooted in authenticity, care, and enduring personal growth. Remember that self-love is not a destination, but a continuous journey. Each day offers opportunities to apply the lessons, nurture your well-being, and reinforce your growth. Celebrate your progress, honor your challenges, and be patient with yourself as you continue to evolve. Take what resonates, practice consistently, and integrate these habits into your daily life. Your journey towards self-love strengthens your confidence, emotional balance, and ability to engage with the world fully. As you close this audiobook, take a moment to breathe, reflect, and acknowledge the effort you have made in prioritizing yourself. Carry these insights forward, allow them to guide your choices, and remember that loving yourself more than anyone else is a powerful transformative act. Thank you for listening, and may your journey of self-love continue to grow, inspire, and empower you every day.